Greetings and welcome to Zenless Zone 0, where we're going to be picking up the discussion we left with my Soldier 11 and Anby sisters video. If you don't know what's going on, feel free to go check it out. But we are going to go over the Soldier 0 character teaser, well, Soldier 0 Anby, that dropped last night. Now, in this trailer, we finally see many interesting things. The first is we finally see who the doctor that created, that we now know created Anby and Soldier 11 is. Although based on her appearance, it appears that she only really created Anby and her clones that we're going to go over in a bit. Not really Soldier 11, because Soldier 11 is very different. Now, if we move along the trailer, which I recommend you go look up yourself, it's very short, about a minute, if at that. Here we can see that they're basically training Anby to be the perfect weapon, as tends to be in sci-fi shows, which is kind of unfortunate. But what we do also see is confirmation that she came from a lab where there were, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were approximately her and 10 other of herselves, or her clones, or her sisters. We'll just call her sisters for now. Now, among those sisters was Soldier 11. Now, the naming scheme here is the most important thing. If we look at this image here, we can see right in the center we have Anby, who is actually happy, which is very strange. But we can see at her chest her designation, which I believe that is Anby because it says 01-00. Pretty sure, yeah, that's Anby in the center. It says 00. You can tell it's a 0 because it's got a little slash going through the center. And in this image itself, we can also see all of Anby's 9 other sisters. We've got 2 next to her, 2 next to the tree, so that's a total of 5. 2 over on the left, 6, 7. And then 3 over left, 8, 9, and 10. This means we are only missing 1, which would be 0, 1, which is unaccounted for currently. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Now, if we compare Anby and her sisters to Soldier 11, we can see that Soldier 11 is completely different. Anby's sisters all have the double braid, I believe, on their side of her hair. Yes, yep, every single one of them has the double. Oh no, hold on. One of them does not. The one that's sitting on Anby's legs does not have the double braid, but the one next to her does. The one behind the tree also does. So we can assume that this one that's sleeping was somewhat different. But we are told through the trailer that she is the only one from Silver Squad that survived. Silver Squad being her and her other 9 or 10 sisters. And that they basically were planning on scrapping Soldier 11, probably an experimental modification or alteration to the formula to see how it ended up. If you remember Soldier 11's character trailer, she did fight alongside Anby a couple of times, and Anby was her usual big sister self, being extremely objective, and we go over that in the past video. Well, after Anby decides to not go along with killing Soldier 11 to follow orders and instead decides to quote-unquote eliminate herself, which I believe was completely planned because if you know Anby, she never does anything without thinking. She knows the consequences of everything she does. So I believe that in this particular scenario, she only cut her neck deep enough to make it bleed and make it believable, but not deep enough that she would bleed out or not cauterize in time to save her own life. And we know she's alive because she's currently alive. Now, if we finally go back to where Nicole finds her, this is happening inside of a hollow. And we know this because over here on the bottom left, we can see those strange black ether pillars that appear, they are all over the hollows when you go inside. So Nicole was brave or reckless enough to go into a hollow by herself. Not sure what she was doing there. She claims she was having a feeling that she would find treasure, and she ended up finding Anby. Now you will notice that Billy is not here, so that means Anby came by and joined Nicole before Billy, so that's going to be very interesting when we get to it. Now, going on to the event, we can see here in the promotional art that we have 2 of Anby's sisters over there in the background, along with Soldier 11. This is very curious because we were told that Anby was the only one that survived according to those the doctors and the military general. So who are they? Why do they have an eye and the mouth covered? We don't know, but they do have, at least one of them has the exact same little diadem that Soldier 0 Anby has. Only Anby's has A little decoration in the center, probably to denote her being the squad captain. Something around those lines. And let's see, is there anything else we were missing? Yeah, the doctor that created them, as we can see here, she has the braid herself. So my guess is that she used her own cells to create all the Anby clones. And because they were essentially her daughters, she gave them the braid. But her hair is a little on the messier side, unlike Anby's, who is perfectly combed, however you want to call it. If we compare Anby's artwork with that doctor, we can see here that they do share the braid, but the hair, the side bangs are slightly... No, they are the same length on Anby. And I think that doctor just has slightly messier hair in the back. So yeah, she probably used her own cells to create the Anby clones. Now, is there anything left? Let's see. Oh yeah, there is one thing we need to revisit here. During the New Year's event, Soldier 11 says that she has silver. Now, back then, Soldier Zero Anby was being called Silver Soldier Anby, and we assumed that she was specifically talking about Anby alone. But now that her name is changed, and we also know that Anby's clone squad was called Silver Squad, did any of the other Super Squad members survive? That would be a very interesting. Were more made? Were some modeled after Soldier 11? Is Trigger one of these new modifications? We don't know, but things are going to get very interesting during this event, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, yeah, and I think that really is all there is to say about the trailer. So hopefully you find this interesting, and we will see you next time.